Computer Science 2 Final Project. Group members: Edwin Barillas, Mario Pinzon, Wesley Torrez, Felipe Valadez. 2016-2017 Southern California Regional ACM International Collegiate Programming Contest. Problem 3. What's a cubit? In ancient Egyptian and biblical times, length measurements were based on the human body. A digit was the width of a finger, 4 digits made a palm, and 7 palms made a cubit, presumably the length of an outstretched forearm from the elbow to the middle finger. Egyptian cubit rods have been found with lengths of 523.5 to 529.2 millimeters, 20.61 to 20.83 inches. These were apparently standardized royal cubits. The rods are divided into palms, with the palms subdivided into digits. Using the mean length of the cubit as 526.35 millimeters, your team is to write a program that will take ancient dimensions in cubits, palms, and digits, and print the results both in meters and in U.S. feet and inches. A U.S. inch is defined as 25.4 millimeters, with 12 inches to the foot. Input to your program will be a series of lines. Each line will contain an ancient measurement specified as integers followed by units of the form a cubits b palms c digits. If the value for the number of cubits, palms, or digits is 0, it will be omitted in the input. If the value is 1, the unit will be specified in the singular. Fields on an input line are separated by 1 or more spaces. No input line will exceed 80 columns. Lengths will be greater than 0 and less than 1000 cubits. For each input line, your program is to print the length in meters rounded to 3 digits after the decimal point followed by the letter M. This is to be followed by a single space and the length in feet and inches. If the length is less than 1 foot, print only the inches, otherwise print the number of feet as an integer immediately followed by a single quote and a space. The number of inches are then to be printed with 2 digits after the decimal point rounded and immediately followed by a double quote. No leading or trailing white space is to appear on an output line. Sample input and output is displayed below. Breaking down the problem. We first need to find the exact measurements of 1 palm and 1 digit. Luckily, the prompt tells us that 4 digits make a palm and 7 palms make a cubit, and we are given the length of the cubit, which is 526.35 millimeters. So all we have to do is to divide the length of the cubit by 4 to get 1 palm, and then divide that result by 7 to get 1 digit. After getting the measurements that we needed, then we can multiply whatever x number of cubits, palms, or digits is given, and then we add those results together to get the total measurement in millimeters. Then the next thing to do is to convert the total result to meters, feet, and inches. To convert millimeters to meters is pretty straightforward, which is divided by 1000, but to convert to inches is a little more complex. So to convert from millimeters to inches, we first divide the millimeters by 25.4, which is given by the prompt. Then we have to check if that result is greater than 12 inches, because we want the result to be less than a foot and not whatever x feet. To solve this problem, we first divide the result by 12 inches again to get the number of feet, then multiply it by 12 inches and subtract it from the result we got earlier, and then we get the conversion we want.
Next, we must figure out how to convert from inches to feet. The first unit conversion we must do is convert from millimeters to inches. Then we need to do the same check from the previous slide, but instead of subtracting and multiplying stuff, we just need to divide the result by 12 inches, and we get out measurement in feet. Now that we've figured out all the logical stuff of the problem, We move on to the next challenge of the problem, which is coding the solution. We need to know how the input is formatted. The prompt also asks us to round meters to 3 decimal places, and round inches to 2 decimal places.
In this code I will be guiding you partially step-by-step tutorial on how the program functions. First off, we will declare our constant integers on the top, which are 1000. Inches, feet, cubits, palms and digits. Second, we will create a string input variable and dimensions. Then we create a loop where we implement our string input variable into an object that can take the dimensions with their value. If the string object does not contain a string, then we will get a different result and violate the conditions. The dimension will have the following conditions. First condition, if user input is cubits, then the variable gets times by the declared constant integer on top. Then the second dimension palms will be times by its own constant as well as digits, and basically it goes the other way around if the user starts with palms first to digits as their input. Next off, these conditions are now placed into results and put into parameters of a total result function, where the given integers in the object are being converted by their unit. Starting off with millimeters into meters by dividing the total by 1000, then millimeters to inches, and inches to feet. Then are brought back to the main function where they are printed, and once completed the string variable returns to default as well as the dimensions for the next run.